Hail tribesmen. I've been in a relationship, a romantic relationship with a beautiful girl for about 3 years now. And in those 3 years, I've realized three key benefits to being in a romantic relationship in a long-term sense. Today, that's exactly what I'm going to be talking about. But this video, I'm talking about positives that I find of being with a woman in the long term. And I'm not going to get into guys who swing the other way. Generally, these things will apply pretty much the same, right? So I'm not going to get too into that either. So number one is they are your best friend, right? If you're dating somebody and they are not somebody who you can really see as your best friend, there's no reason why you should be dating them, right? Your significant other, your partner, should be your partner, right? You should be friends with them, right? It's not just a sexual relationship, and it's not just a romantic relationship. There is a friendship within that relationship, And I think that a lot of couples that have problems that sort of fail, they fail to see that and consider that, and that's quite an issue, I think, for a lot of couples that don't do too well, is they are not friends. And of course, I'm not saying that you should not have, your best friend that's, if you're a guy, your best friend's probably going to be a guy, or, I hate to use this word because it's what, social justice warriors and all that use, but platonic friend, it doesn't exclude the possibility of you having a, non-romantic best friend. But your romantic partner should also be your best friend in that same way. And there's a lot of benefits of having a best, friends in general and a best friend, somebody who you can really rely on, who you can trust, who you can open up to. That is extremely important, and it is very valuable to have when you're in a long-term relationship. Now, number two is a somewhat forced, in a way, sense of responsibility, right? I haven't ever known, and everybody knows this sort of stereotype of guy, the kind of guy who stays at home all day, playing video games, watching TV, watching porn, eating Cheetos or whatever it may be, doesn't really have any ambitions, doesn't have a job, doesn't go to school, doesn't work out, blah, blah, blah. Just going nowhere in life, and probably, unfortunately, as sad as it is, going to die sad and alone. I've never seen one of those guys, one of those types of people who has a girlfriend, right? Because when you do have a girlfriend, it forces, there are certain responsibilities that come with that. With great power comes great responsibility, and with a great piece of ass comes great responsibility, right? In a long-term relationship, your actions affect that person, right? And so, there is going to be a point in this relationship, because with a long-term relationship comes pretty much inevitably the prospect of eventually marrying them and living with them forever. If you're wasting your life away like that, you're not going to be able to provide for that person. You're not going to be able to contribute to the relationship, and you're doomed to fail. And so once you get in a relationship, you are forced to think about that, and you're forced to consider that. And you do. And so it does force you to get us to a certain point of responsibility. And eventually, as a guy, it's very, very important to have that sense of responsibility and discipline coming from within you, the internal locus of control. That's extremely important, but it can also help as sort of supplementation to have another person or another situation or scenario in your life that forces that responsibility on you, so that even if you cave in and you fail yourself, you have something to fall back on. And the third sort of thing does tie into the second one, but I see it as very important. It's sort of a thing in and of itself that is very significant to me, very significant to guys with over-the-top personalities, excessive personalities, addictive personalities, it's that having a significant other will keep you grounded, right? Because again, you become one that is two parts, right? And, it's like the brain and the body, if you will. When one part of that two-part organism is flawed, it harms the other, right? And, in developing a significant relationship like this, you'll get to a point where you really don't want to see that person harmed, and you will hate it if you especially are the cause of that harm. So, there was a point, there have been a few points in my life where I've sort of, I have an addictive personality. I'm kind of excessive. And so there have been points in my life where I've sort of almost gone over the edge with things, right? Before I took the red pill, I almost got very into smoking pot to the point of no return, possibly. And then after I took the red pill, I went way over the edge with that. I went full 1488, race war now, crazy, and I didn't get public about it. It was still speculative stuff and still just considering things and thinking about it. But still, when that started happening, my significant other sort of pointed out to me that, you're being kind of crazy right now. You're getting excessive with it. And she has never discouraged me from thinking independently and critically and whatnot. But she has grounded me in many ways. And that's the other big sort of benefit that you may very well be able to find in your relationship is an external moderator, an external sort of guidance that, some guys have it naturally to themselves, they can handle themselves just fine. But for some guys, many guys, we just don't quite have that. And so that's the third thing that a significant other, being male or female, can really help somebody with. Guys, I'm going to make as many videos as I can in the near future about, building your confidence, realizing that you should have, can have a girlfriend, should have a girlfriend, helping you guys with your confidence in getting a girlfriend. I'm gonna do whatever I can to avoid becoming the whole pickup artists thing, but I do want to help people with their confidence, and so that's sort of what I am getting at with all this. So, guys, go out there, get yourself a fine piece of ass, and as always, keep rising.